Good morning, how are you today? Today we are going to begin with a new chapter in chemistry which is about chemical reaction. Our lesson today is about chemical and physical change. Objectives: to differentiate between physical and chemical change, to give examples on both changes. Now look to this picture. In this picture we have two figures, figure 1 and figure 2. In figure 1 we have a tissue, also in figure 2 we have a tissue. If we tear the tissue in figure 1 into small pieces, we will obtain figure 2. The difference between figure 1 and figure 2 is the size of tissue. Both are tissue, but they have a different size. Okay? Now in this picture we have four figures. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3 and figure 4. Figure 1 is a piece of tissue. Figure 2, we burn this piece of tissue. This tissue transform into ashes. Okay? Ashes هو رماد. We cannot return it back to its initial state. It transforms into a new substance, okay? So here we have a change in the composition. We have the change in the identity of the substance. The tissue transformed from tissue to ashes. From the previous figure, we can conclude that there are two types of changes, physical change and chemical change. What is the difference between physical change and chemical change? As we see before that in physical change, the change is only in the shape, size, and in the states of matter. There is no change in the identity or in the composition of the substance. While in chemical change, the change is in the identity of the substance or in the composition of the substance. After a chemical change, a new substance is formed. Now let's take some examples on physical change. Breaking a glass. Before a change we have a glass. After the change we have a pieces of glass. So no change in the identity of matter. The change is only in the shape of the glass and in the size of the glass. Boiling water. Before change we have water. After change we have water vapor. Here the change is in the states of the substance. There is no change in the identity. Melting of ice. Before changing we have ice, solid water. After changing we have liquid water, so the change is in the state of the substance, not in the identity. Dissolving salt in water. Before change we have salt and water. After change we have salty water, so there is no change in the identity. Okay? So, physical change is a change where the identity of matter is not changed. The change is in shape or physical state. Examples on a chemical change. Rusting of iron. Before change we have iron. After change we have rust. A new substance formed. So, the change in the identity of the matter. Burning match. Before change we have wooden match and oxygen. After change we have ash and gas, so a new substance is formed, so the change is in the identity of the matter. Digestion of food. Before change we have complex food, starch, oil, protein. After digestion we have a nutrient, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, so a new substance is formed, and the change is in the identity of the matter. Adding vinegar to chalk. Before change we have vinegar and chalk. After a change we have salt, gas and water, so a new substance is formed and the change in the identity of the matter. Now we are going to define chemical change. What is a chemical change? Chemical change is a change where the identity of matter changes and new substances are formed. Let's take more and more examples on a physical change. We said before that the physical change is a change in the size, in the matter, and in the shape of the substance. Okay? Tearing a paper, cutting fruit and vegetables, melting of ice, boiling of water, melting of wax, all are examples on a physical change. Note, Physical change may be a reversible change. When we can return back the substance into initial state, it is called a reversible physical change. When we cannot return it back into its initial state, we called it not reversible, as in the case of cutting fruit and vegetables. Now, let's give some examples also in chemical change. Iron rusting, respiration. During respiration, we take oxygen and release carbon dioxide. A new substance is formed. Photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, the plant takes carbon dioxide and release oxygen, so a new substance is formed. Burning of a coal. Burning of fossil fuels are examples on chemical change. Now let's solve the following exercises. In exercise 1, show whether the following statements are true or